When I was younger, I dreamed, like most kids do, of a magical world where all the creatures had powers, where we could be heroes, where countless adventures awaited us all. Like most kids, I searched for that world. But unlike most kids, I found it. We tell ourselves that magic only exists in books and movies and minds. But to me, the world we live in is magical itself. Cheesy, I guess, but think about it. Plants can take energy from the sun. Birds soar among the clouds. Butterflies are like painted fairies. Fish can breathe underwater. And fireflies glow in the night like living stars. What's magical about that? And it all works so perfectly, like it was right out of some storybook or fairy tale. So I'll never stop thanking my lucky stars that I did find that world. Or perhaps I should just be thanking my dad. My father has been dragging me and my siblings off of the couch and away from the TV and into the forest since we knew how to walk, showing us the world that all kids search for but never seem to find. Or maybe once we were a part of that world. Maybe once we did see, but we've lost our sight over the many years, what with technology seeming much more like magic than leaves these days. But we still feel that magic, don't we? Staring at an ancient tree, gazing at the brilliant stars, the first snowfall of every year, some fleeting sighting of a shy animal. It's beautiful and perfect, and some part of us, even if our brains forget, some part of us wants to remember, wants to reclaim that magic. At least, that's the way it is for me. But I've been told I'm a little bit different or weird. So be it. I pity anyone who cannot feel that awe, who cannot see the magic that I do. Because for ephemeral minutes, I forget that I'm human, that I'm not a part of this world that seems so much like home. But it's true. I am human. I'm not a part of all this. I'm an outsider looking in. Even if the creatures were friends to me, I was a stranger to them, and not without reason. Places that bring me that feeling are destroyed by the touch of a hand. We destroy without need, without remorse, without a second thought, blindly. If only we'd stop to see what magic we're blundering through, perhaps we'd be able to save it before it's too late. Because yes, nature is storybook perfection. But every story has a villain. And with a full ledger of human crimes hanging over my head, I have to lie awake at night knowing that I am that villain. I am one of that race, that scourge, that enemy, that silences the frogs, shadows the light, scares the creatures, and turns our entire world gray. The list of our crimes is very long. But the worst yet is still underway: climate change. No creature is safe from the coming destruction, not even ourselves. The facts don't lie. We're killing all that lives through climate change, and those who aren't dead are running scared. The deer, bears, geese, and otters I was enchanted by as a child are already moving north toward cooler environments. And they aren't the only ones. If every species is moving poleward to escape the heat, ecosystems are bound to clash, especially with factories, farms, highways, cities, and other human-made obstructions in the way. This process of habitat fragmentation divides land that was once wild and free into glittering little fractions scattered throughout the earth. And this division is often a contributing factor to extinction. Different families of organisms can move at different rates, too. Birds and insects, for example, being more mobile than the communities of trees that they rely on. The perfect societies that are ecosystems are thus torn apart as they move further north. Keystone species leaving the environments that they rely on to new worlds unsuited to harboring them. Pathogens, too, are given access to species that have not developed immunity. The risks are all around us, including Ryeneck. The white-tailed deer that have become so familiar to me and a piece of my natural puzzle that I really value, they're protected from mites that can only survive in certain temperature zones, but not for much longer. The speckled babies, the wary mothers, the nobly crowned stags will soon all be no more. They might move further north, but who knows what awaits them there? All uncharted territory that's on its way to drastic changes in the near future anyways. And comparatively, they're the lucky ones. There are some that can't so easily migrate. The mountaintop species like pika and ibex may someday soon reach the highest peaks they can, climbing to the top of the world, only to leave it. And island species, once protected by the isolation of their homes, are now trapped by it, to perish as it grows warmer and smaller with the rise of the sea. The ocean's ability to absorb atmospheric heat is clever and useful in nature, but with an excess of heat in our environment because of greenhouse gases, the ocean not only warms, sending or striking underwater habitats askew, but it also grows through thermal expansion, threatening coastline habitats everywhere, like Ryeneck, my hometown. Majestic shorebirds, they won't have any habitat to hunt in. Beaches will be underwater, meaning that turtles and sandpipers don't get breeding grounds. And the marshes right next door to my house will be too wet to support the beech trees or my playground at summer camp. Worse yet, we can't ignore the effect of the ocean's rising temperature in the ocean itself. Warmer waters mean migratory shifts in fish populations, and all others that rely on them, which are a lot. It means that temperature-sensitive turtle eggs become more likely to hatch females, threatening the population if this trend continues. It means that the coral reefs that were once so beautiful and colorful and really, truly magical will bleach in the heat and become those lifeless skeletons that we've come to know. Ocean tragedies don't end there. Carbon dioxide absorption is another trick up the sea's sleeve, perhaps one of nature's precautions, trying to prevent greenhouse gases from building up the way they have been. But as the ocean absorbs more carbon dioxide, it acidifies. Fish endure disoriented senses, making them think that predators are their mates, and algae and seaweed will bloom aggressively, choking out open waters. And mollusks lose the ability to form shells, ruining the food chains that rely on them. And also, it means no more skipping oyster shells in the water with my brother, or looking for shimmering mussel shells with my sister. And of course, climate change causes unprecedented weather patterns. Fires burn in drought-ridden Australia and California. Monsoons in Asia are breaking records. There's been frequent ice storms in my own hometown. The Prairie Pothole region that houses a lot of lakes that North American waterfowl rely on to breed, they're drying right up. Tropical storms, taking lives and homes in Florida and all across the tropics. And the forests that I used to roam as a child, I visited during my Christmas break. And it rained. It rained and rained, but it didn't snow. Years ago, that was unthinkable. We used to ski down fluffy white slopes. We used to ice skate on the frozen pond. We used to listen for grouse, muffled by feet of snow in a silent forest. And now we take shelter from hail and rain and slush. These freak weather patterns can only get worse as climate change progresses. More lives taken, more habitat now uninhabitable, more magic lost. Ocean acidification, thermal expansion, migratory shifts, parasitical epidemics, freak storm destruction, and then the clashing of species in a natural world war, and all because of us, the villains, the disease that Earth is trying to sweat out. It's easy to become overwhelmed, and most of the time, I am overwhelmed. I'm scared and broken and don't see a solution. I suffer every time I read an article about one of Trump's environmental rollbacks. I wince when I order a gift off of Amazon for my little sister. I give up sunscreen and bug repellent if it isn't non-nano and deep-free. I buy clothes from thrift stores. I bike to school. I try to stay away from red meat. I brainstorm during environmental club meetings. I do everything I can, and it still isn't enough. And I'm no saint. I'm still a criminal with a long, long record. It's never enough. So yeah, it is easy to become overwhelmed, and most of the time, I am. Some days, I don't want to go outside, because it hurts to see the world that's slipping out of my hands. It hurts to watch the magic fade right before me. It hurts to feel the guilt on my shoulders. It hurts me, because nothing I do seems to slow it, and everything I do seems to accelerate it. Some nights, I'll just lie awake in bed, wondering whether I should spend the rest of my life chasing solutions that might never come true, or if I should just spend as much time as I can soaking up the rest of the world I have left before it's gone. I still don't know which to choose. For now, I'm attempting both, because most days I'm very confused, and I'm very afraid. But no. Then there are the some days, some hopeful days, some days that I have to hold on to. My mother once dog-eared a page in the Nature Conservancy magazine. That was one of those days. It was about the Cumberland Forest Project, acres upon acres of land in the Appalachian Mountains. It was a pathway running south to north of protected land where ecosystems could make their move further north, as they were avoiding the heat. And yes, this seems to only treat the symptoms. It seems not to get at the root. It seems not to be the cure. But what is the cure? What is that root? The root to me is that humans, we see ourselves as separate, superior to the dirty, stupid ways of nature. We've forgotten the magic. The magic that, contrary to popular belief, we are a part of. And in the Cumberland Forest Project, and countless other projects just like it, and in other ways, completely different from it, all across the world, projects like the Cumberland Forest Project. The magic is beginning to return. That's why it gave me hope. Appalachian-adjacent communities are historically economically depressed, and the Cumberland Forest Project gives the people their jobs, linked with nature. They're paid to oversee the environmental shifts in the protected land. They're paid to keep the ecosystems in check using sustainable forestry. And they're paid to have solar farms in their towns. In short, they're paid to be a part of nature and really place value in it. To me, this is the birth of a culture in which people realize that humankind and nature are one, the kinship that I was raised with. We have a long way to go, because this is an unpopular belief, to say the least. But it's certainly a start. More people are beginning to realize this threat and take action about it. We have done wrong. We've done a lot of wrong. But we're not to give up hope. We are to weave our societies together with nature and save this magical world that we're slowly destroying. And we can. We can do it. We can use technology. We can use economic and political and social policy. We can use education. We can use cultural connections. We can use every tool, every asset that makes us a dangerous enemy to become a powerful hero. We can make better choices, all of us. We can fund solutions through donations. We can care a little bit more each day. Or we can remain the villain. And in the story that is nature, good prevails. Balance prevails. We've created an evil imbalance that nature is struggling to correct, and she will correct it. So, if we remain the villain, we will all, to put it bluntly, be killed. We will watch the world turn gray and lifeless before us, and perish with only ourselves to blame. I don't think you want that. I certainly don't. What I want is to not have to worry anymore. What I want is to be able to smile on the vibrant magic when I'm old. What I want is to see humankind play their part as one of the good guys for once. What I want is to sit still for an hour or two in the mountains, hear the birds, smell the sweet fresh air, feel the sun and wind on my face, sense my old friends, the creatures, moving about me in the shadows, see the magic I love restored. And I want you to see it too, because I pity anyone who cannot feel that awe, who can't see the magic that I do. Thank you.